I mean, I think it's a part of my entire self. So I think it means everything to me. I feel like it's important to um, identify myself as something else than just a soccer player, but I'm most proud of myself as a soccer player. And I think that it's given me opportunities to do things that people will never get to do in their life. And I'm just really grateful and thankful that I've had that. So I think in the end, it makes me feel humbled and thankful. My mom played growing up, and I think when I was younger, they just kind of threw me into all the sports, and I played soccer and swim and gymnastics and basketball and dance, like all the things. And soccer was the only thing that stuck. It was the only thing that I didn't like want to run around in a circle and not listen to anybody. So my mom kept me in soccer, and it ended up really working out. So yeah, I feel like even just like through my childhood, I just fell in love with the sport. So it stuck really well. There's a scout in America who scouts Filipino Americans. His name's Mark. And he reached out to my dad and just kind of told him that they were holding a camp in California for Filipino American girls for the Philippines national team. I didn't even know the Philippines had a women's national team at that point. Like, I literally had no idea. And when I heard that possibility, I was like, that's really cool. Like, why would I not go? I mean, also, I'm a kid at this point. So my parents played a big role in that. So I went to try out just like kind of on a limb, whatever, went to California. And then I got called up to a youth team, like U14, in 2016. So I went and tried out in the Philippines and had a month long camp there before a tournament. And I wish I could have had more experiences with the youth team because that was probably one of like out of everything that I've done in the past 2 years, like being with the youth team is like very near and dear to my heart because I feel like I got to really establish some lifelong friends and like learn a lot about my heritage and also what how I could make a career out of being a women's soccer player. Like I had no idea that I could play in a World Cup and I could play on a national team and I could be pro. And I feel like once I got that taste, I just like needed more. I needed to keep pushing to get that. Once I got a taste of the Philippines, I got to see the country, meet the girls, the coaches. I was in love. I was in love. I didn't even have a second thought about it. I knew that I wanted to play for the senior team and I wanted to represent the Philippines and my Filipino family and my grandparents and my dad. That was an easy choice once I was introduced to that. I did get called up for other youth camps. I wasn't able to go, which I wish. I think at the time I thought I wasn't able to go because I was in high school. I definitely could have went looking back on it. Um, and I'm so glad that I eventually got the opportunity to go try out for the senior team almost 2 years ago now. But that was also an easy choice. Like as soon as they called me up and said, "Hey, do you want to come try out before we go to World Cup qualifiers?" I was like, "Yeah, I'm flying out tomorrow. Like, get me out there." So it's always been an easy choice to like show my loyalty to them. I feel like I didn't really have any expectation just because like this was going to be the biggest World Cup, Women's World Cup that they've had yet. And that was like already an expectation that we knew before going into it. And we just didn't know like what kind of support are they going to give women in this. We see what the men get. We see how the men's World Cup goes, but like how are they going to match that, you know? Um and when we got there, like signs all over in New Zealand, fans everywhere. I mean, the hotels were like top notch. We had our own rooms. We had buses. Like everything was as professional as it could be. Um, and then once we started really training and getting ready for those games, I feel like everyone was just kind of a mess. Like I myself get super emotional when I think and talk about it, just because like I almost felt like a spectator at sometimes because it was our first time. So like we would see things and I'd be like, oh my God, like this is for us, like what's going on? I was standing on the sideline, really nervous to go in, obviously. Like we're winning 1-0. It's like 10 minutes to go. Like what am I gonna bring? How am I gonna keep our win? I'm just thinking about how I can gain our lead and how I can defend our lead. Um, I don't know. I feel like I did a lot of work before that mentally just to like try to drown that. I mean, how do you drown out 40,000 people? You can't really. But um, I feel like I just got on and I was like, you just have to run until you can't anymore. It's 10 minutes. Like, you just have to run. And you have to show how you're willing to put yourself on the line for this country and how you're willing to put your body on the line for this team. And that was my only thought in mind, is to just show how devoted I was to the team and to the country and just be proud. Like, honestly, just get on the field and like, it sucks. I mean, I was offsides on a goal. Terrible. I wish I didn't do that. But at the same time, like, you just have to move on. Like, this is for the country. Like, this is for the sport. And, I feel like having that in the back of my head is just to like be proud really helped me during that whole tournament, because I was just proud to be there and I was proud to represent the Philippines.